Hello and welcome to In the Studio with Donny Carr, and this is episode number 11. So today we're going to continue our discussion about reverb, and I have two more techniques that I want to show you today. The first one being a pre-verb technique. This is a great way to introduce an element in your track. It could be a vocal, it could be a synth hit, or a chord stab, which we're going to be using today, a chord stab. Drum elements work great with this technique as well. So percussion, so you can get creative with it. I'm going to show you that first, and then I'm going to show you a great way to add extra character and dimension using reverb. Two reverbs that are panned, and we're going to be using a vocal for that, but it can be used on pads and strings and even synth leads as well. So let's get right into the preverb. I'm going to show you this track that I pulled up. This is an old track that I started maybe a year ago and never finished, just an idea that I put down, but I thought it would work well for what I want to show you today. So let's have a quick listen to that with the chord stab that I've chosen to do the preverb for. So that's the chord stab with a shit ton of reverb, which we're gonna get to later, but this is how it sounds dry. Okay, so that's the chord stab, and we're going to do a preverb for it. So the first thing we need to do is set up a long reverb, which I already did, obviously, and I'm using the concert hall with about a 9-second decay. Pre-delay is at 20 milliseconds. I just left it there, but it's actually not even necessary, so we can turn it off. And I just boosted the low cut a little bit to around 110, but we'll get a little more low cut there. And this is good to go. And you need something to record the reverb, and we're using Edison for that. The whole point of this is we want to record the synth stab or chord stab at 100% reverb, let the tail play out. We record that, bring it back into our session, we reverse it, and then use that as a swell or a swoop, whatever you want to call it, to lead into that chord stab to introduce it. So what we need to do with Edison is we're going to select record on input. There we go. We're ready to go. So we just want to record the synth stab here and let the reverb play out. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Edison has recorded what we need, but we only want this first one here. So let's just do this and go edit, and we're going to trim that. We're going to pull this into the playlist. There we go. The first thing we need to do, let's just route this into the mixer so we have more control over it. So let's put it on 22. Okay. All right. I don't want any effects on it. We'll take those off. Okay. Now I need to reverse it. There we go. All right. Probably can cut this part out. We just want the kind of the reverb tail, not the initial impact part of the sound. I'm going to say about there is great. I'm going to just trim that down. And I'm even going to fade this in a little bit more. And just an easy, quick way to do that is just with the sampler. So just this input here. Maybe to about there. Now let's have a listen to that. I am sorry, we need to take these off. I should have remembered that. There's no need for them anymore. So something like that there. But I think the pre-verb stops a little bit too abrupt. I want a little bit more of a smoother transition, a little bit more of a carryover. So let's turn it down a little bit, and I'm going to put on just a simple delay. Choose the fruity delay. Just normal's fine. I'm going to take out a little bit of the high frequencies of the delay signal, and we're just going to bump this up to there. There you go, pre-delay. So works great on vocals especially, and then like I said, you can use it on lots of different things in your mix. So moving on to the second thing I want to show you, which is this vocal. Right now it's completely dry, so I'll just show you it really quick.
And then we break it down, we built it. And then we break it down, we built it. We built it.
We built it, we broke it down. So what we're going to do is, instead of running this through one reverb, a cool little tip is to, or a technique is to run it through two reverbs, and we're going to pan them both. I have them, this already set up, so I'm just going to kind of run you through what I've done here. But first I want to show you a comparison with the reverb on and off. So first we'll listen to it off, and then I'll switch the reverbs on. Here we go.
And then we break it down, we built it. And then we break it down, we built it. We built it. And then we break it down, we built it. And then we break it down.
There you go. I think this technique really suits this type of vocal, especially. This doesn't really work on all vocals, and I don't do it in every track, but it does work really well in some instances, and it's worth trying out. So what I've done here is, on the left I have the UAD Lexicon 224. It's an amazing reverb, and I have actually the perk plate set selected, and I've just tweaked the reverb times and the decays, and I've given this one only a 7 millisecond pre-delay. And then over on the right, I have just the Valhalla vintage verb. This is set to a chamber, which gives it a different character, and the pre-delay is a little bit longer, so they kind of bounce off each other a little bit. But they just sound cool in combination. I really like the effect. So, and you could go further with this, and you could go, you could also put an EQ on after the reverb, and even if you wanted to compress it or sidechain it, that's an option as well. So you can get creative with it. And I just have these panned out, not at 100%, but around 60% left and right. So I'll do one more comparison here with the reverb this time to start, and then I'll pull the reverb out. Here we go.
And then we break it down, we built it. And then we break it down, we built it. We built it. And then we break it down, we built it. And then we break it down, we built it. And then we break it down.
So there you go. A couple cool techniques that utilize the power reverb, and there's many more to be discussed and talked about. So maybe we'll save those for a later date. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment and question. I welcome them, and maybe some suggestions on what you'd like to see in the future. Until then, I'll see you soon. Take care.